to the HoHum class of 2014-15. In saying goodbye, I thought it only appropriate that I say a few words with nothing less than the most monumental of aspirations, to create a recording that has the ability to lull you into a restful sleep anytime and anywhere you have access to YouTube. So, close your eyes if that suits you, or keep them open if you please. This is, after all, your world, your play, and I'm just a bit player, a one-man Rosencrantz, or Guildenstern, who knows, wandering through your self-titled drama or comedy. Oh, never tragedy, I hope. Why can't it be a tragedy? And soon enough, exiting upstage left. I think I'll go right. I haven't decided yet. I think I'll follow the wind if it's southerly, but perhaps I'll follow the sun. It's not too blinding. That's how it was for old Socrates. You see what following the sun did to him, on trial and killed. Speaking of killed, I still cry over Hector's death at the hands of Achilles. And while we're on that subject, don't ever kidnap, even with her consent, someone else's wife, especially when that someone else is the king of Sparta or the king of Denmark. And even if you and she have the two most beautiful faces in all the world. Speaking of all the world, I sure hope you find your path in life quicker than Odysseus and Aeneas did, but I also pray your lives are just as heroic. I can just picture you quoting me now. You're on a pilgrimage. Lots of good stories start like that. And someone asks you to tell a story, and you launch right into a story about HoHum, caves, fish in and out of water, Nell, stairway to heaven. Notice the things you'll remember will mainly be the walls. The things you didn't even know you were paying attention to, while you should have been paying attention to my words. Ah yes, my words. Yes, I would definitely recommend you avoid being drawn into bad things in general, because none of what I can remember of hell or Denmark seemed heavenly enough in the moment to risk eternity for. And while you're on the subject of heaven, if you ever find yourself on a pilgrimage to honor a martyr now in heaven, take the time to tell a good story, like Horatio. Tell a nice clean story about a cowboy you once knew, who was actually a teacher you once knew, who had dreamt he was a butterfly. For the remainder of his life, could not be sure if he was a cowboy teacher dreaming to be a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming to be a cowboy teacher. Bowers, you're getting redundant. I'm starting to think you're just a typical, boring, repetitive teacher. Come on, say something unique, original. And speaking of teachers, and therefore, of course, students, be sure to remember this nugget of wisdom. Never rent a room from someone whose girlfriend or boyfriend you like, because more often than not, that's not going to end well for anyone. Perhaps even with someone's head being chopped off. And while we're on the topic of heads being chopped off, don't ever bet on yours being sewn back on and everything being just fine afterwards. Should you make a careless mistake in a castle with an overly friendly hostess or host, whatever the case may be, always remain humble and never ever take advantage of your situation. Speaking of taking advantage, if your brother is asleep in the garden and you happen to like his job and his wife, do not take that as an opportunity to gain both. I can assure you, it will end badly for you. Let your brother wake up from his nap and have a nice conversation about the leaves of grass. And speaking of leaves of grass, remember Uncle Walt. And if you remember nothing else of what Uncle Walt said, remember the answer to why you, amidst all the difficulties and drudgeries of this life, that you are here. And life exists. That the powerful play goes on, and you will contribute a verse. And speaking of contributing a verse, If you get the lead role in a play that your father doesn't want you to be in, run away, quit the play, or just talk to someone. Talk to me before you shorten your own verse. Nothing on this earth is worth ending your verse prematurely for. And speaking of this earth, enjoy it. Learn where the statement, "the child is the father of the man," comes from, and find a quiet place above it all and stop to appreciate the wonders of this world. No, not your newest gadget. There will always be those. I'm talking about the stuff that was here before you were born and should be here long after you're gone. Nature, people, truth, and beauty. And speaking of nature, it is natural that all things, both good and bad, must come to an end. And so it goes with this class. I've thoroughly enjoyed everything that we've done, probably more so than you have. But now it's time to let you go. But even as I let you go, keep this in mind. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. But I'll be waiting, just off stage whenever you need me. And I'm much better in a supporting role than a starring one anyhow. Truth is, in ways that may only crystallize for you in the moments beyond today, you have done more to make this class special than I have. Think of the countless awe-inspiring, untestable creations, all created by you, none created by me. And so I humbly thank you for allowing me to witness this amazing performance by you, and now I sit back and watch you shine. No longer strive to amaze me, because you already have. We've come a long way. Thank you for an amazing year.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it